Hey you guys, welcome so much to this video. How are you all doing? I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about where we're at as humans. Because the way we manifest things or create things has to do with where we are on a level of consciousness. And it's so important now that we start really merging the way we work with energy and also the physical. It's not only energy or only physical. So we really need to open our minds, we really need to open our hearts and the way we work with what we want to create. The way we work with our healing, for example, the way we work with our relationships, the way we work with whatever we want to create or manifest in our lives. We have been in such a dense or low level, if you want to call it that, of frequency. So it has been pretty hard. It has been much more of a pushing through, going about it in a very hard way, because it's what we knew, it's what we were able to do. And as we start remembering more and more that we are energetic beings, as we start to remember more of the abilities that we have, as we start to come into more of who we are, we also start to remember, and we are seeing and will be seeing even more also from the science, that, for example, vibrational medicine will be in the forefront. We will learn because there will be more and more people showing us by being an example of how to work with energy, of how to actually shift the physical plane from an energetic level, because we're working with both at the same time. If we are in resistance either to the energetics or to the physical, we will not be able to create or to manifest out of the full potential that we can. So really feeling into and looking into if you have resistance to either of those can be very beneficial. Now we are starting moving in, as I've been talking about in previous videos. In my last video I mentioned and talked about the energies we have just been in and what we're moving through right now. And I will leave the link to that video in the description box. I've also been talking throughout the summer and the beginning of this autumn about that we are moving into an energy of taking more action, of actually bringing more things into the physical. This is what is happening now, and that's why it's so important that we understand and that we start to play with and work with. We don't have to be masters of this, we're learning. I'm certainly not a master of it yet, but I have had experiences that are really showing me that this is the way it works, that this is the way things can shift suddenly. It's the way things can just, that's how miracles happen. Miracles are only what we can't really explain, that seems out of what we perceive as possible. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. It's just outside of what we, or the limited mindset maybe we have, or what we have seen and think is possible. And so how can you, I can explain this, how can you best get in touch with, just with a complete open mind, if you take fears and limits and all of that out of the picture and you just play with it, how do you want to live? What would you want to do? What is your passion? Get in contact with that, feel into that, and start using that. If you are going into meditation, now it depends completely on what type of meditation you're doing. If you're doing just like opening, if you're clearing something, if you're going into like creation, We can do meditations in so many different ways with completely different intentions. But if you're doing a meditation with the intention of aligning with something on your future timeline, whether that is a job, whether that is something you want to create, something you want to do or something you want to make, whether it is healing of your body, no matter what it is, if you can play with that passion and what you really want, like what really ignites that fire within you, you can really use that, because you can get yourself into that energy. When you feel that energy and you hold that vision of what you want, what you really want to create and manifest, you can start bringing that in when you are in that energy. Then there's so many ways of doing it, but in this video I just really want to encourage you guys to start playing with this. Have curiosity. Don't have any expectations or anything. Don't do it in order to prove yourself that you can't, because you're setting yourself up for failure. Come to it from a point of curiosity, or just playing with it, just trying it out to see what happens. Because it can open you for finding the ways that you really can change and shift things really fast, and how you can really bring things into the physical. For example, something that I found that worked really well for myself, if I did those kind of meditations, and if I had like those really good meditations where I either really got into that feeling of what I want to create, or what I see, of, really in that, and I really felt I held that frequency in my body. Or also if I had the kind of meditation where I could release something, or I just had new really deep insights, I would keep that frequency when I came out of the meditation. I would keep being in that as I opened my eyes, as I came back to my day, and I would maybe go out, going for a walk, just moving the body to bring it into the physical. This maybe it doesn't work for you at all, but it's really worked for me. Going for a walk and just keeping myself in that frequency, just feeling that through my body as I'm walking, as I'm feeling my blood pumping through my veins, as I'm breathing that fresh air through my body, as I'm feeling that I'm also a physical being. I keep that frequency of that new insight, or what I want to create, or that release that just happened. So I really bring it into my life, not only in the meditation. Also, for example, if you like using your voice, use that, hold that frequency, find the tone maybe that feels aligned with that frequency that you want to manifest, that you want to create. If you just hold that energy and frequency in your body, find that tone, what is it, and make that tone, and then bring that tone back into your body. So we're working with something physical as well as the energy, so that we can merge them. If you like dancing, that can also be amazing, or just put on some music that you like, and when you are in that frequency, just move your body with it. Just start moving, start really let your body be a sponge for that frequency, because we can shift things with frequency. The body doesn't understand the difference between something that's actually happening and something that we are experiencing when we have a very clear intention and thought and an open heart, and we just come into that situation. We start reprogramming our bodies. release that resistance, if we have a resistance to the physical, and we start releasing that, and we start bringing that energy into the physical, we start to teach our bodies a whole different thing. And we start, as I talked about in the last video, with the antagonistic relationships. If you have that between what you feel is your identity, if you're identified with your mind, for example, and you come into that antagonistic relationship between the mind and your body, this can also be a really good way to start working with the body, to bring that energy in the body, and start dissolving that antagonistic relationship, because that's quite important. One example that I experienced through my healing journey, so for those of you that have followed me for a while, you have probably heard me talking about a bit of my story and what has been leading up to where I am today. And I've had a pretty long healing journey, and I used to be a dancer, and after some of the years of my healing journey, so I was quite far on my journey compared to where I had been, I suddenly had this thing that clicked for me, that I could actually use that feeling, because there's nothing that gives me the same feeling as when I'm dancing. That passion that it ignites, that feeling when everything, like, it just moves through the body, it's amazing. I understood suddenly in a meditation that I could use this on my healing journey. At the time, I was not physically able to really dance. What I started doing is that I went into meditation and I connected to different parts of my body, or the energy centers in the body, or to my whole field. I would have different focus points, and then I would bring myself into that feeling of being on the dance floor. I would feel the flow of the dance. I trained myself to get into that feeling in the body as I get when I'm actually on the floor. And I started using that to get into coherence and to lift the frequency in my body. Alongside with, of course, really continuous releasing of what needed to be released. So it's not about bypassing or suppressing that, but not getting sort of stuck in only the shadow work and the focusing on what needs to be released. We need to have the frequency that we are moving into as well. Just like, for example, when we are in nature. Today I've spent a few hours in nature. It was amazing, and it helped me to shift my frequency, which was very needed after some things I've been moving through. Because the frequency that is held in nature is coherent. And when the body and our field is entraining with that frequency, it helps shift our own frequency. It's very, very healing. So both nature, movement of the body, the way we can, even if we're not able to do everything we want to. Like, for example, I used to dance on my healing journey, even though it was only in meditations. After a few weeks, I started doing just a little bit, just on my floor. Just if I could do like just one movement, I would do that. I would put on the music, I would get into the feeling. Earlier on my healing path, I wouldn't have been in the space to do that, because it would have been too difficult for me, because I would have been feeling everything I could not do. But at that point I had reached the point on my journey where I was able to actually get into that feeling without being discouraged, without only feeling what I couldn't do, all of that. And then I started to just do a little bit, and knowing that this is actually medicine for me. this is what I want to bring into my body. 1 year after I started doing that, out of nowhere, I received an invitation to be part of a performance or a project leading up to a performance. That was not expected at all. Like that was the only thing I had been doing. I had started to bring that frequency into my life, and suddenly out of nowhere this opportunity appears. And throughout that year my body had kept healing to the point where I was actually able to say yes to that. And it's so difficult, or it's so easy to forget when we're just going about our days, going about our lives, and we have the challenges and there are things coming up. It's so easy to either meet the physical only with the physical and just, have a boundary, and then we go into meditation and it's only energetic. But we need to start bringing both in. We need to start working with both, because we are energy and we are physical. Even though we are so much more than this physical body, we are actually here incarnated in a physical human body. And we are here, and now more than ever, at the point we are in with the frequency and the energies that are right now, and that we are continuously moving into, we are here to bring in and anchor completely new systems, completely new ways of healing, completely new ways of creating. Because we are remembering that we are powerful, we are remembering that we are so much more. And we are here to actually remember how to do this in the physical. And so we have to start opening both to the energetics and to the physical, and we have to start merging those. Just like we are working with our own inner masculine and our own inner feminine, we are letting those merge and align and come into union, so that there can be a third energy birthed, which is our creation. And then also doing the same with another. But everything first and foremost starts within. Whatever way it is for you, maybe it is drawing or painting, that you can hold that frequency. And you can just get into what feeling, does it have a texture? Does it have a color? That frequency of what you want to create, or that frequency of the feeling that you really wish to have in your body or in your life. What frequency do you want to wake up in or be in throughout your day? And just feel into it. Let yourself be open to feel it and let it in. Does it have a color? Start drawing that or painting that. Just bring it into the physical. Start opening to actually bringing it in. Because we can do so much, and we are so powerful beyond what we currently know and are aware of, even though we might have some ideas. But I really want to encourage you guys to pay attention to where you might have resistance to the energetics or the physical, and how it would work, because we are all different. We have different energetic signatures, and energy is constantly in movement. So how can you move that energy throughout your physical body in order to create, in order to merge those? I hope this is helpful for you guys and can give you some ideas. I would love to hear in the comments if you have some shares of how you do it and how you most easily can bring the energy into the physical. Other people can get inspired from what you share as well. So I really thank everyone who comments, as always. I really appreciate that. If this video helps you, please share. And I thank you to everyone who is liking and subscribing. It really helps getting the messages out. I wish you a beautiful day. Looking forward to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.